Right. So let's have a look at the the specifics in terms of assignment one. So if we have a quick glance at the first question there, right. We're talking about business level strategy that Starlink is following. So if we look at the guidelines that I've given, it is Learning Unit 1, slides 14 to 15. So you're essentially looking at that in terms of the broader business strategies. It pulls together the different elements there. And then obviously, if we look at 14 over here, I think in my mind, when we read that, where is that? Yeah, it really does um, suggest that the aim is about cost leadership. It really is emphasizing the need for low cost. It is about reaching out to customers that were previously excluded from these kinds of connectivity issues because of cost issues. So I believe it is a cost leadership strategy. The essence of a cost leadership strategy is that everything we do, every innovation, every cost saving, every difference that we make in terms of production and delivery processes is about saving money and then obviously passing those savings on to customers. So in terms of that, I think we are looking at cost leadership. If you have gone and written best value, I will accept best value. I think you guys know at this stage it's an integrated approach between cost and differentiation. It's a sort of great value for money stuff, good quality. So you can either use this one or that. I'm not going to be too fussed, but I feel it has a sense that it is more cost leadership. So in terms of that, the business level strategy give us the essence of what cost leadership is and the fact that it is about saving money and it is about passing those savings on to customers. Um, Advantages and disadvantages, you will see that it's in here very clearly indicated. Advantages there, disadvantages. Again, guys, if you reference the slides, you are referencing the textbook. So please remember that. And then obviously evaluate the business level strategy. This is one of those that people get wrong repeatedly. And I don't know why they get it wrong because we explain it quite well. So in terms of evaluating strategies, we are looking over there. You're looking at those specific criteria. So appropriateness is really about making sure that on the basis of the strategic position that we've adopted in terms of dealing with external issues, in terms of our own resources, that this strategy is appropriate in terms of the fit between the business and the environment. The second one, obviously, ignore all of this stuff. I don't need you to tell me that you would do a SWOT analysis and all that rubbish. I don't need to see any of that stuff there. Okay. None of that is necessary. The second one is feasibility. So it really is whether what we have available from a resource perspective doesn't overextend us. So we're in a position to actually achieve the objectives that would go in hand with the strategy, that we have the capabilities, that we're able to reinvent ourselves well enough without actually destroying the organization financially. Desirability, I think it is about the needs and the priorities of the organization, and then also it is about making sure that in terms of our needs, in terms of what we've prioritized from a need to achieve perspective, that we don't expose the company to any form of vulnerability, so attacks from competitors, and that in terms of timing, it is appropriate. We're not arriving too late to the party to actually capture market share. Consistency, yeah, it really is the fact that a consistent strategy is one that is perfectly aligned with the vision, the mission statement, with the long-term objectives, and then also with the sub-objectives. So what a consistent strategy does, it is something that if you achieve it, will ultimately take you to your long-term objectives, will take you to your vision, your mission, your strategic intent. Validity, a little bit more difficult to answer from a practical perspective. So if you can find stats, that would be fantastic. But validity has to do with the assumptions that we base our decisions on. So if your assumption is, and remember, it involves numbers and stats, etc. So the assumption obviously would be that there's a significant market for low cost quality internet. So you've got to look at the validity in terms of the numbers and stats and the sort of math that went into the decision. Going to be very difficult to do from a practical perspective, but if you can find stats, it would be wonderful to mention those. Attractiveness to our stakeholders. Yeah, I think the truth is that the modern definition of competitive advantage and this idea of wealth creation for all our stakeholders is one that essentially sits at the core of this question. And I used the silly example before, guys. As a class, we could hire a vessel, a ship, go to the Southern Ocean, take along baseball bats and warm jackets and club seals to death. Easy money, people still buy the pelts, but it would not be attractive to our stakeholders. It wouldn't be the right thing to do. Okay, so I don't think there's any dramas with that one, guys. Any questions in terms of that one? Any concerns? Any questions, any concerns there, guys? I don't think there should be any issue. I did talk about this, and I'm not going to have a moment today. Please do not use these references. Yeah, you can absolutely do that, Steph. You can 100% do that. Please don't use these references. We're better than this, okay? We are better than this. And I'm not even going to look at those. They're not peer reviewed, they're actually quite annoying. Please remember to look at the rubric when you answer it. The second one is the idea of blue and red ocean strategies. We'll spend a bit of time on that tonight when we look at the next learning unit. Hold on a second. So we are looking at learning unit 2. In terms of blue ocean, red ocean strategies, you'll remember if you're a Google that writes the first algorithm that puts in motion some sort of search engine, you arrive as the first person in that particular industry. Now, if we think of that, the idea behind it is very much that when you get there first, you set the standards and you have no competitors. In terms of the red ocean approach, this is where you go into an existing very competitive market, and I've used the term feeding frenzy. Mr. Price, yeah, 100%, Steph. When Mr. Price arrived and went into the clothing business, it was a feeding frenzy. But they survived through very, very clever marketing. They've got a really efficient supply chain, etc. And then, yeah, is this a blue ocean? I know that there are a couple of other competitors, but the simple truth is there are not enough competitors to suggest that at this stage it is a red ocean. And then obviously you can look at that. Yeah, easy to find blue ocean research advantages. You should find it if you type those terms into Google and just type in those two words. Remember what I said, scholarly articles. I'm pretty sure I would have shown you this. Hold on a second. So blue ocean strategies. And then just type in scholarly articles. You should find quite a bit there. Okay, yeah, there's quite a bit there, guys. So remember, in future, for anything you do, just type in scholarly articles. I don't like using Yeah, absolutely. And EBSCO host as well. Thanks, Steph. Yeah, there's some good ones here, guys. If I just look at it without paying too much attention. And then, yeah, what would happen if they followed a red ocean strategy? So the reality is, what did Mr. Price do? They sorted out their supply chain. They sorted out suppliers that were cheap. They made sure that their marketing targeted people who were cost conscious. They set up shops in malls that had high foot traffic. So there was a clear approach to that. So, guys, I think you would have to think of it. It is a lot of marketing, it is a lot of strategic positioning, it is a lot of making sure that you get your supply chain and all of those kinds of things sorted, and that you understand within that red ocean there's a potential niche. Okay. Guys, can I ask anything other than that? Are you okay with those? Okay. Right. So if we look, sorry, any questions on that one? Okay, that's fine. Guys, so if we then look at this one, yeah, if we yeah, get a quick sense, customer service therefore have started. Elon Musk has asked you to develop a proper corporate strategy. Could it okay? Now, this is where I'm going to give you a little bit of freedom, but I did say learning unit 3, slides 11 to 16. You'll see the advantages and disadvantages as well. Please just hold on a second while I open Learning Unit 3. And yeah, so it really, if you want to have an overall view, it would be those. I think, yeah, there's so many options available. I would have focused, and I can't remember what I said previously. You can look at organic growth and look at market penetration. So that suggests that this is an unsaturated market, and you would really pump the advertising, you'd pump marketing in terms of trying to attract those individuals that have not bought this technology yet. Market development is to look at new markets, so to move into countries where they weren't previously present. Product development would be to add on additional features, and you can try and imagine what those features were. Be very careful if you go with diversification. Diversification is you add new products and services to the actual product offering. In terms of related diversification, this is where you use the same technology. Unrelated diversification, if you use different technologies, these generally are very risky. The unrelated diversification, related diversification, because the platform and the technologies remain the same, you should have no issue with that. Or you could try and buy out a competitor in terms of horizontal integration, just buy out the competitor. Or vertical integration, try and get closer to your customers or buy some of your suppliers. Again, I don't think that's an ideal one. Horizontal integration might be the better option. I'm not going to be specific in terms of which one I'm going to suggest, but if you stick to that sort of market penetration, market development, product development, related diversification, and horizontal integration, one of those you should be absolutely fine. Let me have a glance at the question. Yeah. And then you should be able to find the advantages and disadvantages. Can I see, has anyone got to this stage of the assignment yet? Please talk to me, guys. I'll get sad and lonely. Okay.
I'm
So there
still on
should be no
question
issue
one.
with it. Okay. Still on question one. Okay. No problem, Lisa. No problem. Um, Okay, I think what we'll do, guys, though, is we've still got the group, and if you get stuck, please just chat to me. Do I need to do anything else before we start with class? I really, I don't want to waste time. But remember, the WhatsApp group is amazing for questions and answers and bits and pieces. Okay, guys, can I call this to an end?
Can I ask, there was a referencing tool that
Okay,
you
go
talked
for it.
about, that you said was better than anything, and I've forgotten what that was.
So say again, there was a moment where you broke up there.
Okay,
There was a
there's a referencing tool, so like when you do, oh, there we go.
yeah, there was
Definition.
Zotero, Ilse, there was Zotero. So yeah, if you grab Zotero, it is simply phenomenal. I think I shared the presentation on Zotero online, guys. I think I attempted to do last week and it was a real bugger up, or the week before. I'm not going to try and do that because I'm not as au fait in that. I've just moved across to that as well. So it's Zotero. Thank you very much, yeah, whoever typed that. Right. Anything else? I'm going to